Hi, and welcome to the Dinner Agenda. This is Bo.
And this is CeeLo.
Hello, CeeLo. How are you?
Long time no see, man.
We have had a nice little break, and it's felt wonderful. And now we're back.
And now we're back.
Now we're
Yeah, the
back.
break was nice. The break was definitely nice,
Yeah,
much needed. It was
yeah,
super busy,
yeah.
but I missed you.
I missed you too. I missed you too. Because actually, I saw you just before Christmas.
Yes,
We
yes.
met for coffee at that lovely Circles and Squares.
Oh, so delish,
Oh,
right?
it's like since you've put me onto that, it's just like, oh my God, let's go for a decadent coffee and treat, you know?
It is a
Um,
definite treat.
yeah. So we saw each other then, and then that was it. And then we had Christmas and New Year's and, back to
Yeah,
work and blah, blah, blah. And it's been a whirlwind. So, um,
whirlwind. Say that
war.
10
It's been
times fast.
it's
A
been a
whirlwind,
whirlwind. Yeah.
whirlwind.
Whirlwind.
Yes, it
Um,
certainly has.
yeah. So, that said, what are we talking about today? What's on the
That's it
agenda?
basically. What the heck we've been up to for the
Okay.
last, like, 4 weeks.
Okay.
Like, let's cover up we have 4 weeks to cover off
We
in this
do.
one episode,
We do.
and I have lots of fun updates for you. So we'll just yammer
Okay.
and, leave it at
Sounds
that.
good. Sounds good. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. No, that sounds good. Why don't you start? How was your Christmas? How was everything?
Christmas was great.
Okay.
It's always fun. Like, I tried to get a lot of stuff done in advance of December, right? Shopping and wrapping and I kept seeing these memes on Instagram that said, if your birthday year starts with a 1 and a 9, you're too old to be wrapping presents on the floor." And yet, I wrapped a shit ton of presents on the floor, so I'm like, I think my back's still sore from that, but
Yeah, how did you
yeah,
possibly get
but it
up?
was good, and,
No, 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 no. Wait. How did you
uh
possibly get up from the fucking floor?
oh, it takes me like 10 minutes, but yeah,
Okay.
I just kinda roll over on all
Oh
fours
my God.
and mhm,
What do you have
I'm like,
pubes in your mouth? Like, what are you doing?
I have you see how nice and blonde my hair is right now?
Yeah, why? Why don't you tell
Uh,
me and everybody else listening why your hair is so
okay,
incredibly
wait,
blonde
I'll
right now?
get to that
Okay.
part, okay?
Okay.
Um, I did find always at Christmas, I miss my mom.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
miss my mom because
Yeah.
Christmas was like
I know.
I was gonna say Christmas was her holiday
Mhm.
because she just loved getting everyone together and doing all that stuff, but all holidays were her holiday. She loved having us all together for whatever family event and stuff, so I do miss her,
Yeah.
but I do love the fact that I take some of those fun traditions and do them for my kiddos, and
So what are some of those traditions that you've taken from her?
well, the funny thing about wrapping was, like, my mom always wrapped everything in our stocking, and I've not known that to be a weird thing
Yeah.
until I talk to people at work, and they're like, "You
What?
wrap everything?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I wrap everything." And I think, it was mom's way of probably prolonging a little bit of the Christmas joy because you had to get through all the stuff, but every lip balm, every little
Oh my
chocolate bar,
God.
everything is wrapped.
You're
Wrapped.
kidding.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
I think for the younger folks, that's probably a shit ton of fun because
Yeah.
everybody likes to unwrap presents, but man, was that a lot of work to do for your
That's a
mom.
lot of wrapping.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my god, yeah,
man.
especially with 4 of us, and then
Yeah,
even, like, as we got older and had partners and did the
yeah.
whole, like, Christmas morning again with her, she did stockings for everyone.
Oh my
Like,
god.
everyone got a stocking and everything had wrapped up
Wow.
little prezzies in it, so, yeah. So that's one thing, and then the other thing that we've continued on is, a kind of her side of the family Christmas, which we did
Yeah.
earlier in December to bring everyone together. And these are kind of, I was going to say aunts and uncles, but it's really just one uncle and a bunch of cousins and cousins' kids.
Mhm.
And we all get together, and as much as we only see each other really that one time a year, and it's always kind of been that way, but everyone still really enjoys it, and it does give a little bit of mom into the holidays for sure. So
Yeah, yeah.
mm,
It's I totally relate to that. I know, like, I lost my father a few years ago, as well, and, my dad was, like, so super big on all of us getting together. Like, that was his one joy, And it's like if we were scheduled to come over to his house, he was sitting out on the porch
Waiting.
about an hour before we were ready to waiting for us. It's like, and as soon as we would drive up, it was like, "Oh, there's my dad. He is waiting." We're like,
Yep.
he was
Waiting for us to get there.
yeah, like he was just really happy to have everybody together. And for Italians, we have very big traditions Christmas Eve, which is like, the feast of the seven fishes, right? So for
Yeah.
Italians, you don't eat. And I don't know if it's a Catholic thing or an Italian thing. I really don't know. But we have, like, you don't eat meat. You eat
Mhm.
fish Christmas Eve, and then you can have meat Christmas Day. Well, when my dad was alive, the tradition was, I would take him to the fish, store, and we would buy, 7 different kinds of fish,
Yeah.
and we would come home, and it started off with my dad and I making it, and then as he was fighting cancer and he wasn't able to, have the energy, my niece and I started to do it. So,
Aw.
yeah, and so now that he's gone, it's like, my mom's not as big with those traditions.
Yeah.
So, we don't tend to do that, but I have been spending Christmas Eve with my cousin and my aunt. So that would be my dad's sister.
Mhm.
And she is still quite into their tradition. So we're back into the Feast of the Seven Fishes. Actually, I think we had 9 fishes that night, but it was nice, CeeLo, because, I'm sitting there and it's like I felt my dad with me. If that sounds like
Yeah.
super cheesy and bizarre, I know, but it was like because I was with my dad's sister who, is into the same traditions. Everything was so familiar. It just felt lovely is all I can
Yeah.
say, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it's so nice to
Yeah,
have those little things and those little reminders of and yeah. Iz
yeah,
has taken up baking, so Iz is doing lots of baking, so she'll make some Christmas morning, like, breads and stuff. I call it a breakfast appetizer, but,
that's nice.
yeah, tasty stuff.
Yeah,
Mom
yeah,
always liked baking and stuff, so yeah,
yeah.
so
It's funny,
fun.
CeeLo, because I think growing up, right? And I was, and I don't know what it was like for you, but it's, family get-togethers during the holidays, right? Christmas holidays,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, all that stuff. For me, it was like I was brought up with like, "Oh, you've gotta get together with your family." Like, that is just what has to happen. And when my father first passed away, and then I had some trouble in my family, and I was trying to navigate that, and, there weren't all we weren't always getting together, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
I was really feeling that loss a lot, and I
Yeah.
felt very lost. And I'm gonna say this was probably the first year because I do have different traditions now. I do spend Christmas Eve at my cousin and my aunt's, and I do spend Christmas Day at another close friend's house. Each year, and it's a lovely, loving environment. And for the first time this year, I thought, it's I was putting so much pressure on you can't be complete unless you're spending these holidays with family. And now I'm
Mhm.
starting to realize, but you can. It is a day. It's a day that if you have somebody to celebrate with, great. But if you don't, that's okay too. And it
Mhm.
doesn't define anything, but it is really nice to kind of create your own traditions if you need to. And it works
Yeah.
just as well. And I just kind of, I don't know, it just really settled with me this year. Whereas in the years past, it hadn't.
It felt like something was still off maybe.
Off and missing, and
Yeah.
now I feel more kind of like content. That's the only thing I can say.
Yeah.
Content with everything. Yeah, that's the only thing I can say. It's things seem to have just settled, into
Well,
place for
and
me.
I
So,
as much as some of those traditions for when the family is together or when family's around, it's awesome and it feels
yeah,
great. When it
yeah.
doesn't anymore or you need to change it for whatever reason
Yeah, yeah,
and you do and you're like,
yeah,
"Okay, so this is still good. This new tradition that I've started or this new."
yeah.
'Cause, Christmas morning, to be honest, is a bit crazy, right? Like, we set the alarm, we're up early. Now, when the kids were little
Mhm.
and Santa came, I didn't need to set an alarm, but now I do.
Yeah, of course.
And we're up, super early to do, Christmas morning here, and then we jet out to my family's and do Christmas morning again, basically, like, everyone shows up in their pajamas, and we have mimosas and,
It's nice.
big
Yeah,
brunch and stuff,
yeah.
and then we jet from there to Mel's, side of the family to do a nice, Christmas dinner. So it's super busy, and Mel's always like, "Oh, it's so busy, blah, 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 blah." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's
Wait,
like, it's 1 day a year."
wait. Did you miss my clock? Can you hear my clock?
Oh, I was talking over your clock. I have not missed the clock, trust
Okay. It was just like, I'm
me.
sure you missed the clock, but okay, go on.
I did not miss.
That was the bigger one that just went. So the smaller one's gonna go in 10 minutes
Oh,
just for you.
fantastic.
Sorry.
I'm
Okay,
looking
so you're
forward to it. We'll do a pause for a dingle dangle.
okay, so you go to Mel's afterwards, yeah?
Yeah, and it's always super busy, but it's kinda one time a year, and that has
Yeah,
kinda become our tradition, and
yeah.
so when that doesn't work anymore, we'll shift and do something else, and that will be the tradition, but,
When that's
um
probably gonna change for you guys is when your kids, start to kind of move out, get their own lives, maybe get some new their own partners, that kinda stuff. That's
yeah, for
probably
sure.
when you're gonna find some change happening, right? But
Yeah, for sure, and, like, across my siblings as well as
yeah,
as
that's
all
right.
the kids are getting older and finding people, and they're gonna wanna do things with the boyfriend, the girlfriend, whatever, and
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we'll figure it out, and we'll make it work, and I think, um, one thing that's always been constant is it's not necessarily the day, it's that you get together
yeah,
and do the
that's it.
celebration and tradition, right?
That's
So,
it, that's it.
just reminding myself of that sometimes is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So I actually had a friend this year who said that they weren't gonna stay around for Christmas. They actually went to Iceland for Christmas and New Year's. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the family just like her husband and her 2 kids, they just went to Iceland, and she said it was beautiful, but she
Mm.
said it was tiring because at the time that they were going, I think it was only 4 hours of daylight. And the rest of the time
Wow.
the rest of the time you're in the dark. Now she said, like, the northern lights were beautiful,
Yeah.
like, stunning, and you could see them really clearly, but it does make you a lot more tired. So when you're out touring and it's pitch black and you know what I mean? It's like 2 o'clock in the
It's
afternoon, you're kind of
bedtime.
like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's kind of like even nowadays, right, at
yeah,
work, and you
yeah.
look out the window, and it's dark at 4, you're like, "Shit, I gotta get going,"
I know,
right? It's
I
time
know,
to go.
I know.
I had a good friend of ours as well, they opted to go south,
Mhm.
and I think they left just before Christmas, and, did, Christmas Eve and Christmas morning down south
Nice.
in
Nice.
Mexico, and they had a grand time,
That's
and,
great.
um we did the same. We surprised the kids on Christmas morning with a trip to Cancun. So
Isn't
they
that
had no
amazing?
idea.
Yeah, yeah.
And on the morning of the 25th, they opened up their last present and it was like, I made a ticket and it had a little airplane on it. And I'm like, pack your bags. We're going.
And when were you leaving? Like, the next day?
We left. So we do Christmas with my dad on the 26th.
Yeah.
And then we left at the ungodly hour in the morning on the 27th. And so the friend, that had booked the trip, I had said, "Hey, we're booked. We're leaving on the 27th. Here's where we're going.
Yeah.
You guys should book." They, hesitated, hemmed and hawed, and waited, and then the resort we were at was sold out. But then the idea was growing on them, so they had actually ended up booking leaving before us and at a different resort,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
we were in Cancun around the same time, and so we did manage to meet up for a day on a trip, which was really fun.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so
That's
that was
amazing.
good.
Good stuff. That's really, really good. And so how were the kids, like, when they opened the get like, were they totally, like, shocked, surprised? What was the reaction? Or were they,
Total
like,
shock.
teenagers like, "Oh, fuck, I gotta go out with my parents?"
I I was actually I knew Buddy would be excited and
Mhm.
happy, but my, has a boyfriend now, and
Yeah.
it's so I was like, "Shit,
Mm.
she's gonna miss Christmas." Like,
Yeah.
she's gonna have to celebrate Christmas with him beforehand, and I
Yeah.
had suggested that. I'm like, "Christmas is always so busy, a couple days after so busy, why don't you guys do something together before?" So that was good, but her birthday is Jan 1st,
It is. I
so
know.
she was gonna miss, a birthday celebration with him
Yeah.
and the time off from school where she would normally maybe get together with him.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I was like, "Is she gonna be excited?" And she was over the moon
Oh,
excited. So, I
good.
was
Oh,
like, "Phew."
good. Okay, good,
Yeah.
good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm
Mhm.
glad to hear that. That's good.
Yeah.
What a great surprise. My cousin
Yeah.
kinda did the same thing. She gave, the whole family a trip, they s it was after New Year's,
Yeah.
but they paid for everybody to go on a cruise together, and it was the week after. Yeah, and so they
So
literally
nice.
just came back, a couple of days ago, but they loved it too,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah, I think as the once the kids are older,
Yeah.
there's a bit more flexibility, but, like, when school's off and when there's no hockey, there's, like, a friggin' window.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, for
Like,
sure.
we knew that when we planned it, that we may fly home and have to get in the car and go to hockey.
Yeah.
Luckily, it was the next day, but
Yeah,
still, yeah,
yeah,
so
it
cool.
was because I remember texting you saying,
Yeah.
"Are you back?" Because like, I thought you were coming back that day, and you sent me that picture of you at the rink, and I'm like, "Okay." From one
I'm
to the
back,
other.
baby.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Well,
from one to the other.
it put the bit of the travel bug in mine and Dave's kind of, ear when everybody was kinda going away on
Oh.
vacation and whatever. So anyways, we were chatting and that, so I had 2 cats and we lost Mabel, oh gosh, I don't know how long it's been now, 7 months now, maybe 8 months,
Mhm.
something like that ago. And since then, her sister, who we still have left, Penny, she's the one who kinda makes an appearance sometimes,
Yeah.
um, you know, she still looks for her. At times. Yeah, it
Aw.
breaks my fucking heart. I can't stand it. She's also become like her personality has changed a little bit. She's become a lot more clingy, and I know that she's missing that companionship.
Yeah.
So I kinda said to Dave, with the whole fucking motherly instinct thing, I said, "We're not traveling. We're not traveling until she's gone because I'm not leaving her alone with anybody
Wow.
because she needs mommy." You know what I mean? Like, she's so anyways, I had said this and Dave was kind enough to kind of go along with it. I think he knew that I enjoyed traveling, so I would eventually kind of come around to not
Yeah, he
stopping my
didn't
life,
need
you know?
to pressure you.
And so we're sitting there and I'm like, "Gosh, everybody's going away. Oh my gosh, would I love to go on a vacation." We started to look at things and then of course that's getting you excited. So anyways, I think what we're gonna end up doing is going to Japan at some point next year. But we're gonna do a
Oh,
cruise, which is why it's gonna be next year because we have to you have to book it in advance kind of thing.
yeah,
So, um, yeah, and plus we have to make sure that we can get the time off of work and blah, blah, blah. And so
yeah,
I think we're gonna probably do Japan, and then
that's
I've got a couple of
amazing.
I've got one my cousin's daughter, is really great with the cat, so I might get her to come,
Yeah,
my mom's offered as
just like
well,
house sit,
so
cat sit, do whatever.
house sit, cat sit, I want somebody here all the time because I don't want her being alone, and I
Yeah,
want it to be somebody she's familiar with, and
yeah.
I want them to take my calls every night when I call to see how she's doing. Those are my
Honey, I have
prerequisites,
to
so
say hi to my kitty. Yeah, we
yeah,
were really lucky in that my both of my sisters would happily take, Ginge,
yeah,
for the week, but,
yeah,
my younger sister has a dog and 2 I guess one's not a teenager anymore, but, running around and stuff, and so, left Ginge with Auntie Keeks and Uncle Scotty. She loves them. Scotty's a good dog walker,
yeah,
so
yeah.
she was quite happy for her little and, she probably got spoiled for the
Oh,
week,
I'm
I'm sure.
sure. Oh,
Mm,
with your sister? Of course. Are you kidding
yeah,
me? Come on, I
yeah.
remember what she was like with her dogs.
But it is kinda hard
Yeah,
to leave them, I guess.
it
I
is
was happy to
for
not
me.
have to walk the dog in the cold, to be honest. I'm like, "Mm-mm,
I'm sure I was
not digging
you know,
that."
I went for a walk today, and I was actually thinking about you because as I was walking because it was a little cold and windy, and, I was doing my little walk, and I was thinking, "Geez, if I had a dog, this would not be a choice. I'd have to be doing this." And I
Yeah,
remember when I had, my dog before,
yeah,
it's like rain or shine, you are out there because if you do not bring them out, they are a menace in that house. Like they have
yes,
got to get the exercise and the fresh air and they've got to do their poops and their pees and their smells and, all that
yeah,
other stuff, right? So,
yeah. I call, Ginge when we're out walking. I'm like, "Okay, is the stop and sniff part of the walk over?" Because I'm like, "Walk, walk, stop.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Walk, walk, stop."
yeah, yeah. But that's part of
Yeah,
their joy, right? Like that's part of the
yeah,
dog's joy is sniffing the different scents and, you
all the
know,
sniffs.
oh yeah, for sure. And I think the walk is really for them. So it's
Yeah.
It's not your
It's
time. I
good. I
know.
mean, it's good for me because it does force
Sure.
me out, at least twice a day to go for at least a little walkie, but,
Yeah.
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 Um, I think Japan will be absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to hear
Yeah.
all about it. I'm a
Yeah.
little bit jealous. It's
Yeah.
definitely on my, like, top 5 list, man,
Is
to
it?
go.
Is
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Well, I'll
I'd
let
love
you
it.
know where we're
Yeah.
going, and
Eat
then
lots
if
of
you
sushi.
wanna join us.
Okay, girl, let
Right?
me know.
Okay, I will. Eat lots of what?
But
What
maybe
are you gonna say?
sushi.
Oh, sushi. Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
I was like, "I'm not
Um,
eating weird shit." Let's just get that straight right now.
it
There's no
doesn't need to be
insects.
weird shit.
There is no nothing that is like I'm just saying.
I'll copy that. It's fine. You don't have to.
No,
But sushi's not weird.
sushi
Sushi's
is great.
good.
I love sushi. I will eat sushi.
The next time I travel though, I don't think I'm gonna take my kids with me.
Oh, why? What was that look for? Why?
Well, we had to call the hotel medic and
Why?
Mel spent time in the emergency
What
room
happened?
with Nathaniel.
What happened? Oh,
So
shit.
before we got there, they had some flooding in Cancun. We actually talked to a lady on the resort who's like, "Yeah, the water was so high at the airport that it was reaching the wheel well of the bus." Like, she was worried that their bus wasn't gonna be able to get them to the resort.
Oh,
That's how much water was sitting
my.
around. So I think they had some extreme flooding and,
And sorry, how long before you left or how long before
a
you got
couple
there?
of days
Okay,
before
so
we
it was fresh.
arrived.
It was, like, new.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
fresh.
Mhm.
And when there's, like, a heavy amount of rainfall and it doesn't all get down into where it's supposed to go, here for Lake Ontario, they'll say, "Hey, high bacteria levels in the lake, no swimming." After a heavy period of rain, never mind
Yeah.
flooding.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
There were no
Oh,
such signs posted at our resort, though.
yeah, because, they don't
So,
follow the same protocols, they're not looking at the same thing.
yeah, so who
Oh,
knows?
what
But
did we
we
get?
spent,
Oh, no.
I'm gonna be mixing up my days, I'm sure. The Tuesday, I think, we did the group tour
Yeah.
where we met up with friends of ours. We did a catamaran, snorkeling, and an island tour, and it was a full day. It was awesome, but lots of time out kind of in the sun. And so that night when we got back to the resort, we had dinner, and then Buddy's like, "Yeah, I don't feel so good."
Aw.
He had, like, maybe a bite of food and then went back to the room, and when we get back there, he's got, like, severe cramps and
Yeah.
diarrhea, and then the
Yeah.
vomiting started,
Oh,
and it got to the point where, like, happening at the same time, he had a fever, he was shaking, and Mel's like, "I'm worried." I'm like, "Yeah, me
yeah.
too. I think we
Yeah.
should get the hotel medic to come up and, see what he says," right? And
Yeah.
the whole time we're thinking, what did he do that we didn't do, or what did
Yeah.
he
What did
eat
he
that we
eat?
didn't? And then
Exactly.
I'm also thinking we just spent the whole day out in the sun, and he's definitely not had enough water because he hasn't had enough water. And, so I'm like, "Is it like a heat stroke thing or what?" And, the medic came up and he took his vitals, and he's, like, really dehydrated,
Mhm.
and there's nothing I can do for him here. He needs to go to the emergency room, and
Really?
he's gonna
Okay.
call an ambulance. I'm like, "Okay, awesome." So,
Do you have
Mel got
insurance? Did you
everything.
have medical insurance?
Yeah,
Travel
I have
Is
travel
it through
travel
work?
insurance. Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Luckily.
Yes.
Um, so Mel got ready to go with him in the ambulance, and I stayed back. Now is also now not feeling well.
Oh, shit.
And so I'm a little bit worried about her as well. Like at one point, I'm like, I'm going to be joining Mel at the hospital because I'm going to have to come now with but hers didn't hit her in the same way. I think she was better at drinking water, so it maybe had less of effect. I don't know.
Mhm.
But just by fluke, somebody from his hockey team was
Yep.
staying like 3 resorts down. And so the boy walked along the beach, and the 2 of them were playing out in the water in the ocean, snorkeling, probably ingested a bunch of water. Was out there with them. The boys were wrestling in the water,
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I suspect they probably consumed some ocean water. And then I'm like, the off run from the flooding Was it,
Oh.
is it like a bacteria
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
Don't know. Don't know. And the doctor was like, "It could be norovirus, it's something gastro, don't know." Like, awesome. So he spent the night in Emerge and he was rehydrated, he was put on a bunch of different medications. Mel stayed with him. Oh my god. I mean, I didn't sleep at all, but at least I was in the hotel room. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
kinda taking care of Iz and keeping an eye on her. She
Mhm.
was, like, sitting up in a chair basically
Aw,
overnight, and,
poor kids. Yeah.
he started to feel better,
Mhm.
the next morning, and I guess once he was able to have some sips of juice and a bite of something and it
Keep it
stayed
down.
in,
Mhm.
then they were willing to release him with a list of meds to pick up, and so that was like a 24-hour middle of the week situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still
Okay,
like, there's yeah.
I've got
Mhm.
questions for you because one of
Let's
my
go.
biggest fears when I travel
Mhm.
is what happens when you have to go to the hospital. So, how was that whole process with the trip insurance, the travel insurance? Like, how did that all work out?
Easy peasy.
Really?
Yes, I think the hardest thing, like, at the hospital, and Mel was like, "This is a nice friggin' hospital. Like, this is the
What?
tourist hospital."
Okay.
She sent me pictures of the room, and I'm like, "Girl, we don't get that
Nicer
at
than our
Michael
resort
Garren."
room.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm
No,
saying?
no,
Like,
no, no.
nothing like what we would see here.
No.
So, the deal is that you basically call the 800 number and you get a case opened and you can talk with someone right away. You can tell them what's going on. The medic can talk to
Yeah.
them and
Okay.
they can basically advise you on what to do and what would be covered or whatever. And so it was actually, I guess maybe because it was the middle of the night, I don't know, but the intent was that they would transfer payment directly to the hospital and we would have been done and
Yeah.
dusted.
Yeah.
Mel was trying to check out, to get home back to the hotel, and things weren't processing quick enough. So she's like, "If I just pay the bill,
Mhm.
I can then submit it once we're back home." And they're like, "Yep, no problem at all." So we did that just to speed things along. But
Okay.
the insurance aspect of it was great. I think
Okay.
the tough part was like the hotel medic, he was awesome and everything, but there's a bit of a language barrier
Yeah.
sometimes, right? Because
Yeah, yeah.
and Mel is much better at understanding,
Accents?
Spanish
Oh,
in
Spanish,
general than
sure.
I would be,
Yeah.
so definitely that helped, I think, but,
Mhm, mhm.
the experience with the insurance has been fantastic.
That's great to hear. Okay, I'm
Mhm.
shocked,
Yeah.
and I think that's great to hear. Yeah, what?
Yeah, the only other thing I would say is that, like, if we were at home and he was like that,
Mhm.
I might have waited a little longer, or I think I would have felt more comfortable saying, "Let's go get in the car, we're going up to the hospital," right? Because it's around the corner, it's close, it's easy, I know exactly the routine of it,
The
what's gonna
process.
happen.
Yeah, like, you know the process, you're at
Whereas
home. Yeah.
yeah, there you're like 25 minutes away, you don't know the process to call 911 even
Mm,
from within your hotel, and so there's a whole bunch of little unknowns kind of floating around, and
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so that makes you a little bit more worried about the whole situation, but
Yeah.
Mel was
Yeah.
basically texting me every hour, any updates, whatever testing they were doing, how he was feeling, and I was giving her updates on Is. So, the poor girl. So, the ambulance came, they picked up Nathaniel from our room, we went down, he got into the ambulance with Mel. He chucked all over the ambulance before
Oh.
they were able to give him a bag. So
Oh,
nasty.
shit.
Like,
Yeah.
I have one other thing, remind me.
Okay.
And so once the ambulance leaves, the medic says to us, "Okay, now I need you to come to my office to sign some papers." I'm like, "Okay." So Iz and I walked with this medic to his office to sign these papers. The whole paper is in Spanish, and I'm like, "I don't know what I'm signing."
Yeah.
And he's like, "It's basically just what we've done." And I'm like, "I know, but do you have an English version?" "No English version. It has to be in Spanish." I'm like, "Okay, sign away."
So you did. So you
Really
had no idea if you had just signed to say that you were some drug smuggler.
bad.
Have you seen
No.
what the fuck is that movie called with, shit, is it
No.
Claire Danes?
Oh, Broke Down Palace?
Empire of the Sun? Broke Down Palace. Broke Down Palace. Broke Down Palace.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
total.
Okay.
Um, so we're
Mhm.
sitting in the office and he's like basically writing everything up. And I'm like, seriously, like, can we not just do this tomorrow morning? My daughter's not feeling
Yeah,
great, like,
yeah.
whatever. He goes, it'll just be a couple minutes. I'm like, okay, fine. All of a sudden she's like,
Oh,
oh no.
mama.
And she starts puking in the medic's office garbage
Well,
can.
that serves him fucking right for not waiting until the
I'm
morning.
like,
But yeah.
oh
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So it's a bit
Oh,
of a cluster, but I'm not sure. To be honest, I haven't, knock on wood, had a lot of barfing situations with my kids since they were little,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
We've got the barf bowl, there've been some misses, they get it, they go into the washroom, whatever. Now that they're so tall,
Yeah.
especially my son, how is it that he never learned to get on his knees before he barfs into the toilet? Why is he standing up and barfing into the
Yeah.
toilet and
He's
there's
like
friggin' barf everywhere?
6'3". Yeah, I know, like, I know he's 14, but he's like 6'3".
I'm like,
Yeah,
"Can I
I
get
know.
you a towel for your knees so you can get a little closer to the bowl next
I
time,
know.
buddy?"
I know. I
So,
think because in their heads, they're not thinking, they're
yeah,
just thinking, "Oh, barf is
yeah.
coming." You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And the other thing is, I think that made me think it must have been kind of the ocean water and the runoff and some bacteria that way, is that
Yeah.
I cleaned up so much that night. If it was norovirus, I
You
would
would've
have been
caught it.
sick as well.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely
I
would've caught
didn't
it
have,
for sure.
like, take some Lysol wipes with you. I didn't have Lysol wipes. I didn't have bleach. Like, I didn't have anything to
Yeah,
clean. Like, we called housekeeping to come up and clean, but you know what I mean? Like,
I do,
yeah.
I do.
So
Oh
there's
gosh.
that. So that was
Ugh,
eventful.
ew. That just
But then he was feeling better. Like, he got home, back to the hotel by 4 o'clock the next day. That night, not so great, really chill the next day. We just kinda hung around, didn't really do anything, but later that second day, he
yeah,
was feeling like he could eat a little bit, and
good.
every time we went to the buffet, we picked up, crackers from, the
Yeah,
little
yeah,
premium plus crackers or whatever.
yeah, yeah. And then he was
Yeah,
okay
so
the rest of the time.
By New Year's Eve, everybody was feeling better. We had a
Good.
nice dinner and a little celebration, so
That's good, that's good, and I saw you on the pictures that you did a birthday celebration there too for Iz as well, right?
yeah,
So
it's his
so that's
birthday. We
nice.
took her
Good,
her little present down, wrapped up and stuff, so that was
good.
fun.
That's good. So am I
Mm.
allowed to bug her about her new boyfriend?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely,
great.
I think so.
Great.
Mhm,
Text
mhm.
to her is imminent.
Okay, copy
It's
that.
coming. Okay, you wanted me to
Well,
remind what?
I wanted you to remind me
Yes.
about the whole standing up barfing thing. I didn't wanna leave that
Oh,
part out.
okay. Got it, got it.
I wanna leave that part out, but
Mhm.
the other good news that happened last week is we have a G2 driver in the house
She
now.
got her full
Yeah, she
driver's license? Is that what the
passed her
G2 is
driver's
now?
test. Yeah, G2
Yeah?
driver's test.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. So she can now
Yep.
drive us around.
She can drive us around.
She does not need to have an adult in the car.
She does not need to have a
Okay.
G driver in the car.
Okay. So I think we said that when she had that, that you and I would go to a bar and get drunk
Yeah,
and she would have to come
yeah,
and pick us up.
absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to try my best because I'm not a drinker. So yeah.
Well, neither me these days,
Yeah,
so
that's
maybe our
true. That's
plan
true.
is,
Okay.
maybe we just go to Circles and Squares and get her to pick us up when we're high
Ooh,
on sugar.
actually, that would be great. Well, I think we need to like get her to pay her dues. I think we need to be like, "Hey, we've got some errands to run. Guess what you're doing today?" And then we'll
Yeah.
make her take us to a whole shit ton of places this week.
100%. Just drive
Alright.
us around. It'll be like
Yeah,
having valet parking, just
yeah.
pull up in front of the store.
And I think I'm gonna insist
Yeah,
that we sit in the back seat as if she is our limo driver.
100%.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, me too, me too.
I like that. Driving Miss Daisies, we'll call it.
Yeah, yeah, let's do it. Maybe we'll video it for the
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, she's super pumped. She was so
Good.
happy to pass, so,
Yeah, I'm
and
sure.
now it's a year, and then she has to do another drive test, and it's her full G license at that point. That's the
Oh my
graduated.
lord. Yeah, I think, when we were doing it, it was, 365,
Yep.
and then we just went right into getting a driver's license, and that was it.
Yeah, and I
Right?
feel like
That
you
was it.
could do that if you did the driving school, then you were good to go,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Like,
right. Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah.
whatever.
I think the graduated is good. It kind of forces a bit more practice time, so,
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
I
but
don't know
she's
how I feel about
loving
it.
it.
Yeah, oh, come on, how can she not? So, goodbye to your car, by the way,
I know,
because
I'm already feeling that.
yeah, because she is gonna be, Can I borrow the car for here? Can I borrow for the car for there? And now I've got a boyfriend, I wanna go see the boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. But on the flip side, it might alleviate some like, it might give you some time back because now she can maybe take herself places while you're at home, right?
100%. In
Yeah.
fact, we were sitting and having dinner, and she's like, "Oh, I've got all this work to do, schoolwork, this, blah, 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 blah." And then Nathaniel's like, "Oh, can somebody take me to the gym?" Is like, "I'll take you."
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that works out well because now I don't have to go out in the cold and go pick him up and take him to and pick him up from the gym. She's like
Yeah,
happy
yeah.
to do it. So yeah.
Is Mel gonna let him drive her Mercedes?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Izzy's been
okay.
driving it a few times. I mean,
Oh,
she's
okay.
mostly gonna end up probably driving my car. It's a little
Yeah,
bit easier, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Mhm.
good, good.
Good times.
Well, that was
Um,
what?
what?
What? I was just gonna say, well, you said, I was gonna say, well, that was a really
Oh, I
nice
was gonna
catch
say,
up because I
what
have
else is
nothing more
on
to
my list?
say, but if you do.
Oh, no.
Oh, you know what I do have to say?
Yes,
So, I obviously took some time off from work while, over
obviously.
the Christmas holidays. So, Dave and I had a couple of weeks off together.
Beauty.
CeeLo,
Yeah.
I could very easily do retirement. No, I really could. I was like, "You listen, Dave and I." So we had all these plans that we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna clean this closet out, we're gonna blah, 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 blah. And, yeah, it turned into, like, we'd get up, we'd make breakfast, we'd have our coffee, we'd make our breakfast, maybe go run an errand or 2, and then we'd come home, we'd have some lunch, and then we'd be like, "Do you feel like napping?" I'm like, "Yeah, I feel like napping." So we'd have a nap, and it was like this daily. And when I had to
Oh,
go back to work, we were both kind of mourning the whole daily naps. Oh my gosh, it was
yes.
so delicious. These little afternoon 1 hour, oh, they were just
You
heaven,
know, I
just
wish
heaven.
I was a better napper because I like the idea of it, and then, like, I'll have a crazy week, and I'm like, "You know what? I have a few things to do Saturday, but then after that, I'm gonna take a nap.
And you never
I'm
can.
gonna." And then I never do. I
No.
never do. I'm always just fucking puttering around and stuff, but I'm also like, it takes me a little while to fall asleep,
Yeah, yeah,
so I feel like once I do, like, it's not a nap, like, don't wake me up till tomorrow morning.
yeah. Got it, got it, got it,
But
got it.
yeah. Yeah,
Aw.
I wish yeah. I mean, being in Cancun, other than the eventful 24-hour medical emergency situation, was super relaxing.
Mhm.
I have to tell you okay, so next pod, I'll tell you about the book I read called Atomic Habits.
Oh, what's that?
Loved it. Now you're gonna make me
Okay,
look it up.
okay.
But yeah, so I'll put it on the list to talk about next time because that was a really good book and I learned
Oh,
lots of fun things. I started
okay.
a second book, which I'm almost done now. And, so look at
She's
your
scratching my
girl. Oh,
back of me from
cat
the
sass.
jeans.
Got some
Come and
cat
say hi,
sass on the
sweetheart.
pod.
Come and say hi.
Is
Yeah,
she just,
okay.
like, walking right through?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yep.
Poor girl.
I know.
She says
But
hi to her mama. I can't believe you're gonna abandon her when you go to Japan. How horrible of
no,
a mother are you?
you filthy whore. Now you know I'm not gonna go, and I'm gonna make you fucking stay at my house. How about them apples? Come on,
You know
man.
how, like, since grade 10, maybe you've been calling me a filthy whore?
But I mean that with love. I
And
don't it's not like I would call somebody I
Mm.
don't care about filthy whore because I just wouldn't do
I
that.
know, but this is the funny part of the story.
What?
I'm in the car now with Iz, and now her phone is plugged into the CarPlay,
Mhm.
and it comes up that she's getting a text message from my hoe, and I'm like, "Who is that?" She's like, "It's my friend Riley."
Oh my god.
I'm like they call each other hoe now. I'm like, "Okay."
Is
So,
that our fault?
the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, I guess.
You know what? I'm glad to leave a legacy with your daughter.
Yes, my hoe.
That's
I
so
giggled at it all and I told her, I'm like, "Auntie Bo's been calling me her stinky
yeah.
hoe for a long time."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the go-to, right?
Yeah,
It's
I
just,
understand.
I very rarely call my friends by their name. It's just to give
I give everyone nicknames. I do,
yeah,
absolutely.
you do. That's
Yeah.
how I got
We're
Bo.
yeah.
That was
Everybody,
you.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
And and it's gotten to the point where, like, your kids call me Auntie Bo. Like, it's the name now. It's not even
yeah.
I don't even know if your kids know what my actual name is.
I don't I don't think
Probably
they do
not.
actually.
No,
No.
no, probably
It's
not.
just Bo. That's your
It
name.
is. Just Bo. Just Bo.
So I'll fill you in on Atomic Habits next time, and then I
Okay.
also was gonna chat with you about some renos we're gonna be doing.
Are
So I'm gonna
you
share your
oh
pain in the reno department.
okay, okay. So that's gonna be maybe our next episode then.
Yeah,
We'll
totes.
talk
We
about
gotta
that.
leave a teaser out there for the peeps. They've been missing us over the holidays. Now we're back. Yes.
That's it.
Let's
That's
go.
it. All right. I'll make sure that I do something stupid and exciting for our next episode so that I can share some fun stories.
Fantastic. I love it.
Yeah. It was
All
good
right,
catching up
girl.
with you, CeeLo.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll chat soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for taking a seat at the table today. We love our dinner guests.
Don't forget to subscribe and follow The Dinner Agenda on the podcast platform you use so that you don't miss any new episodes. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Dinner Agenda.
We look forward to hearing your comments, questions, and even ideas you may have on future episodes.
Thanks for taking this journey with us.